We're right here. We're at a podcast at Fortress headquarters, and we're trying to crush Words With Walner, let the public know what it's like to be a personal injury lawyer and how I'm on your side because I'm in the community and I want to have, live life and give you the opportunity to have a better life if you've been in an accident.
With the right lawyers, you can take on the biggest, baddest enemies, whether it's the city, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Uber. In a courtroom, we have an even playing field, and we can go and beat them, and we do all the time. But you have to get to the right people who are willing to take the risk, who are willing to go out there and fight for you. If you go to the wrong lawyer, they may not get you full value and full compensation on your case.
The corporate greed and the corporate crime in America against the consumer, the profits over the personal safety, welfare, and well-being is what we're going to fight you for. No corporation stands above you in terms of safety, health, and well-being. And we trust them to Uber and Lyft and Grubhub to bring us places or bring us food in a professional manner and not risk death or catastrophic injury. So the main thing that I want you to learn from us here today, whether it's the Chicago Police Department, Fire Department, ambulance services, rideshare companies, is we're going to fight for you. We're going to do what's right for you because corporations can't get away with crimes and severe malfeasance against us. The Workers' Compensation Act in the state of Illinois gives you rehabilitation to rehabilitate you to a job that you can do based on your skill level to put you back in the position to do that. It's all on the employer. But you have diminished work capacity. You're not able to do the job. You would have an insane loss of income for the next 20 years. Your lawyer will get you that money. And the fee in workers' comp, by the way, is 20%. Why is it so low? Why is the worker so benefit from the lawyer only taking a small fee? Because it's a statute.
Is that right?
If you're injured at work, you get money.
Yeah.
It's automatic. But the employer, the employer say, hey, we gave you 2/3 hair, you paid all your medical bill, go scratch and take $5,000. No, we're going to fight for your diminished work capacity. You may hurt your hand, and the employer says, oh, your hand's worth $10,000, we'll give you $10,000, but how does it affect your right arm? How does it affect your shoulder? The inability to use your hand. That's why you have to have a lawyer.
There were two people that were injured. It was a wrongful death, husband and wife. The husband had passed away and the wife was still alive. And this was still one of the cases that I hold near and dear to my heart. I still talk to my client. I call her once a month. I talked to her over Christmas just to see how she was doing. It was a horrible accident where the husband was driving, wife was the passenger, and they were T-boned by someone who failed to stop at a stop sign. And it was significant impact, significant damage. Unfortunately, the husband, they were both taken by ambulance to the hospital, but the husband passed away 5 days later. And the wife lived and thankfully recovered significantly. She did have to leave their home that they lived in together because emotionally she couldn't stay there. So she's in a nursing home, and I've visited her, and not in the nursing home, I'm sorry, it's a retirement home. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like to call it that. So it's a retirement home, and I've gone to visit her there. She's very, very sweet, and this case brought a ton of insight into trial work, because we were going to trial versus, not going to trial and settling the case, and then filing petitions and wrongful death matters, and then going to probate. I mean, there's so many different aspects when you're dealing with a wrongful death case that it's not just we're settled and we're done. There's so many different types of judges that you have to go before and courts that you have to go before. So it brought a ton of insight for me personally in dealing with a personal injury case, but then also a wrongful death case, dealing with heirs, their children. They got married later in life, so he had different children that I had to, be very, sensitive about with her not getting money and however it was. But it definitely is still a case that I hold near and dear to my heart. And the client, I like I said, I'll always remember her and hold her as one of my most favorite clients.
We look at violence like an infectious disease,
where people they think violently and then they spread it to other people. I mean, that's the basis of it, right? But violence interrupters go they work in the communities on a daily basis to detect, then mediate, and then intervene and save lives on the front end. For example, we had a situation, and the best way to describe it is that I'll just give you a real life scenario. 2 months ago, a guy was released from Cook County Jail. And as soon as the same day he was released from Cook County, he shot the block up. He went over there with a semi-automatic weapon and shot the whole block up and ran everybody in the house. He wanted to take his block back over because some other guys took his block over while he was locked up. So as an end result, a lady called me, and her son and his friend, they were in the room loading their weapons to go out and retaliate against this guy. So we got the call, and this work is not for the faint of heart. Don't try this at home. I just say that with a little comedy spin to it, right? But the reality is that we rushed over to the scene. I talked to the two young guys that were in the house, and they were shaking and everything. I noticed they were not cut out for what they thought they were. They weren't. Not in this situation. I'll tell you what.
How young?
These guys were like 18, 19.
Okay.
The guy that shot the block up, he had to be about 28 years old. Okay, but he was like the OG. Even though he's 28, he was the OG on that block. Okay.
I was going to say that's young, right?
But no, but he had been on that block since he was 16.
Yeah.
So they looked at him like an OG. So this would happen. The young guys informed me they were sending him money while he was in the Cook County Jail. But he never got the money because they gave the money to his brother, and his brother never gave him the money, right? And so once they shared that information with me, when I went out to talk to the guy on the block who had shot the block up, he was really in guerrilla mode. I'm serious. He had his gun in his hand like this. His teeth were gritting.
This is before the police got there?
Well, the police never, see, I'm not the police, Nobody called the police. They called the violence interrupters in this situation, right?
That's incredible.
It's really incredible. So just...
Like for me, that I've never been involved in this, I would think that 911 would be called first.
Well, maybe somebody should have called, but nobody called. I didn't see no police, right?
Right.
And so I went out there to the car and two of my staff, and we talked to the guy in the car. I said, look, man, the guy said they sent you some money to the Cook County Jail. He said, I never got it. They gave the money to your brother, right? But he was really, really serious. He wanted to kill those guys. He wanted to kill those guys. So to make a long story short, we talked to him, and also the young guys informed me that his girlfriend was coming on the block, picking up money, but she had another guy with her. She had another guy with her. And so to make a long story short, we mediated the conflict. Nobody was shot. We calmed the guy down. But he called his girl while he was on the block. This is crazy. He said, baby, what am I hearing that you coming on the block with another guy and getting money? And the guy that she was with got on the phone and said, your girl is with me now. Get lost. And I tell you, this guy grabbed his gun again. I'm telling you, man, I thought he was going to shoot me. I'm not even joking, man. He was so mad and angry once again. But I got him to calm down, cool out a little bit, and say, hey, man, we're going to let this go. And I don't know what happened to him after that, but as an end result, the two guys, their lives were saved. People can come back out on their porches and hang out in the community, and we got him to leave and take his gun and put his gun up.
You're an interrupter.
How do you deal with the tension of all the family members all over you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same dynamic with personal injury law. It's just, while you get everyone coming to you as far as the whole family and, the crisis and injury suffered is something the whole family wants to deal with. We get that too. We can only talk to one half of the family. Obviously, there's an adversarial relationship within the family. Yours is kind of everyone's on the same team. But yeah, I mean, divorces, I think they're less taboo now than they used to be. There used to be like a negative connotation with them. But at the end of the day, divorces can go many different ways. Divorces can be a huge step in healing for people and moving on to the next step of their life. And then they could also become this horrible ordeal that, creates major friction within families and husbands and wives or any spouses. And, if the family's not all on the same page and trying to do it the right way, or, someone gets caught cheating or someone has abuse problem or an alcohol problem or a drug problem, these kind of things can obviously lead to more emergent circumstances that cause the divorce. But if people have time to think it over and, a couple decides that staying married is not in their best interest, then I think they have more ability to get on the same page and make the divorce process something that is more of a positive thing as much as possible, instead of just completely negative.
When I've been on the golf course with you or at a social event, you get an emergency call, like the police are at my house or the
something.
spouse is bothering you or harassing you or checking out, like you were telling me about a woman that you represent, a high powerful CEO, and the man was cross-examining the children, who's she going out with, who she's dating, where's she at, stalking the doorman for questions, and you get these emergency calls. Just on your stress level, and what is the level you allow your clients to grab you at extreme
Right.
after hours or hours that you have set aside for yourself personally and your stress level, and how do you diffuse the situation when it does come to you that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, I feel like I'm on call 24/7 as a divorce lawyer. I give my cell phone number to all my clients. Some of them abuse it, some don't. But I mean, every hour of the day you can get a call. The police are at my door, or the police are calling, or I locked myself in a closet. My husband or wife is going crazy, or my kid's hysterical. We're hiding from our spouse. These are like the dark sides that either lead to a divorce or occur during a divorce case. And I feel like I owe it to my clients to, always be a call or text away when they're in times of crisis. They obviously are hiring me. And there's differing opinions on this. I mean, I have many colleagues of mine who refuse to give out their cell phone. There needs to be that divide between personal and professional, and people can't abuse it. But I think divorce law is different, personally. I think you have to make yourself available. And if I'm able to talk to them, and obviously will do so depending on the circumstances, I think that's important for an attorney to be there for a client, especially in times of emergency.
Well, a lot of the grandparents in the community are taking care of their grandchildren because of, unfortunately, the mother may be incarcerated, or the father's incarcerated, or the parent is unfortunately on drugs. So the grandmother is struggling to take care of the kids, and we appreciate you helping us to bring them out of the community. And also, we're focusing on giving the grandparents a stipend and
That's great.
things to
What do you mean?
Walner.
It's a two-way street. You're putting all your time and
That
effort.
jersey, that's beautiful.
Let's see it. What do you
And
got for
B,
me?
manufacturing. And this
Got
is
your
it.
logo
Got
on
number
it. It's
one.
got, and
I
you're
love
number
it.
one, Walner. I
Do you
love
think
it.
if I wore that, I'd be a better basketball player? Because I'm pretty bad.
Probably.
Yeah, I think the uniform
And
makes
this
the
is
difference.
not cheap material.
Right, let me feel it. Let's feel the goods.
Here, you need to put
I
that
love
on.
it. Put this on.
Put it on.
You want me to put
Yeah,
this on?
put it on. Take
Hold
off
a
your
second.
jacket and put it
let
on.
Let me see if this fits.
Yeah.
There you go. What did I tell
All
And then
right.
you have, okay, all right.
Beautiful. I love it.
Well, you have to throw up the first tip. And this is August 19th. August 19th.
Am I taller than the kids? I want to make sure the ball goes
Fix your
high.
collar in the back.
Maybe about your height, some of them.
So Sabrina,
I love it.
My name is Captain AJ Zimmerman, and as you said, I am in Englewood. There we have a community center there where we focus on 6 weeks to 99. We have kids of all ages and adults. We have programming for everyone. We want to be a hope and a safe haven in the Englewood community. So it's a place where you can work out. It's a place where you can come and play basketball. It's a place where you can get fit. It's a place where you can just basically better your life. We have so many different programs, so many different after-school programs, and so many different things that's available to the community there. And we want to make sure that our people are cared for, heard, and are safe.
neat. And it's a huge facility, right? Yes. Tell us more about it.
Yes, so we have a
Outreach.
70,000 square foot building that has a gym, a indoor walking track, basketball court. We also have a auditorium for music. We have a child care center within it. And yeah, we've been there since 2006, I believe. But the Salvation Army's presence have been there since the 1940s, in the Englewood community. And yeah, our goal is to kind of provide a little bit of everything for all the different age groups.
But you don't take in any clothes.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, our facility is a little bit different in the sense that we don't have we're not a thrift store or we don't have a shelter. But we are a place people can receive help. So we do have things like, emergency assistance programs to help pay bills and things like that. But our primary focus is the community and working with the kids and working with the adults, kind of doing prevention care. So making sure people, stay fit, stay healthy, things like that.
if you're injured, typically, John can represent you and he can get you a settlement and the check goes directly to you, right? However, there are kind of two unique situations. Well, unfortunately, if you die, then we have to give that money to your family members, and that is done through a court, which is probate court. Also, if you're under 18, that money goes to kind of a trust, and then you receive that money when you're 18 years old. And so, probate, they tend to be more complex cases, because obviously unfortunately, if you die in an accident, that tends to be, you deal with more money at stake, and you deal with, it's more complicated. There's this one case, do you remember the case out of Will County? There was someone died without a will. I think the insurance settlement was like 1.7 million or something, and he did not have he died without a will, and he did not have contact with his children, and so I had to find his grandchildren. His children. No, his children actually passed.
Oh, yeah.
It was his grandchildren, and I found one in Portland, Oregon, and then the other three were in Bloomington, Illinois, and then they worked at a dog daycare, and we used some investigation tools, and we were able to provide them with a substantial amount of money, because this family was estranged. The younger grandchildren didn't even know about the grandfather. The older grandchild that lived in Portland did, and so that was kind of an interesting case. And then there's a lot of cases that I dealt with where minors, they get significant injuries, but they recover fantastically. Young people, they just have this physical resiliency. So I'm reading these medical reports, that they break a few bones. You see them a year later, that they look like they're 100%, and we're able to get them, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars into an account what they can receive when they're 18. And most of the minors that I worked for, they came from kind of underprivileged backgrounds, and so it was really rewarding being able to give these kids, a substantial amount of money that could really have a very positive impact on their life when they turn 18. They can use this for college or for a career. Extra $50,000, $100,000 when you're 18 and don't have a lot of resources is very significant.
And we're still waiting for you to get the tattoo of Walner Law on your shoulder.
We're
Is that
looking into
happening?
that. Yeah,
Okay,
we're
yeah,
still
all
looking
right.
at that. I think we outlined it the other
Every employee
day.
gets branded for the
Absolutely.
lawyer? Okay.
Right. Give you a little bonus if you do it.
Right.